We have the very first pre-production samples of BN rebuilt E9s. These were originally Burlington E units that were rebuilt in the early 70s to add a HEP generator. That was to power gallery cars that themselves had been rebuilt from steam heat to HEP power. From the early 70s until the early 90s, these were the defining equipment of the racetrack from Chicago to Aurora before the whole fleet was replaced with F40 PHM 2s. These E units operated in push pull service. So on our model, we've got some distinct features that match that operation. When the engine is leading, it features a headlight and a neat 4 LED rotating beacon. There are white class lights, but those were not normally used in operation. When trailing and pushing the consist in, you would have red marker lights in the trailing position, which are also an option on the model. Later in their service life, the E9s had an additional red marker light applied below the nose headlight to add more visibility in push mode. That light will be piped on the inside and available as a decoder function on the model, and a modeler who's modeling the later period can choose to drill out a hole in the nose to install it as a polybag part. You can see on the model the details that show the HEP rebuilds. At the very rear of the engine, you have where the generator was placed in the car body and the exhaust for it. Then there's cooling pipes leading to the middle of the unit where there's cooling fans for the generator. There's also vents on the lower side of the car body at the rear for the generator. On the front of the unit, grab irons and other details changed once they're in the rebuilt configuration. And these details will continue to be refined to move towards production samples. There are neat, unique sounds to these units that match their rebuilt configuration. This model comes with traditional operation for sound functions, so you can press F1 for the bell, F2 for the horn. F0 for the headlight. If you'd like to turn on the rotating beacon, that is function 14. For class lights, if you press F11, you'll get white class lights if headed forward, and you'll have red class lights if pushing in reverse. There are also other interesting and unique offerings in this run. First off, we have Amtrak's rebuilt E8s with HEP power. These were used primarily in the Northeast on intercity service and could even be seen pulling AM fleets or working with F40 PHs. There are 2 paint schemes and multiple detail variations to match. 2 of those Amtrak rebuilds, as well as an ex-Erie Lackawanna unit, went to Conrail for use in its executive train fleet. We're making those Conrail engines with some of their distinct features, like horns mounted above the cab windows and other specific HEP detailing that matches their configurations. Illinois Central bought 4 of the rebuilt BN E9s and put them into its executive train service. Those engines received recessed ditch lights and other specific detailing. We will offer them in Illinois Central's attractive black and gray paint. Later, when Canadian National acquired Illinois Central, it repainted the units into its noodle scheme and also repainted them into the classic green and gold scheme. With the BN rebuilt E9s, in addition to our gallery cars, which have never been done before as a ready-to-run model, and our F40 PHM-2s and rebuilt -3s, we've got Chicagoland commuter modelers covered. Never before have you been able to model these full train sets running along the racetrack. It's been really fun to try out and run this first BN Commuter E9, and we want to make sure you know to get your orders in for it and other schemes by March 15th.
Lunatics!